Welcome back to Church Street Park here for day 2 of minor league cricket, and what could be better under a beautiful Morrisville sun in magical Morrisville, North Carolina. 2 teams in action on this Labor Day weekend. The Atlanta Lightning, in their first go-around this year, will take on the Orlando Galaxy, taking on a back-to-back. Never easy, but they are back in action after what was a loss to the Baltimore Royals yesterday, but not a loss without any promising signs. But they'll do it against a team that on paper looks to be one of the stronger teams in all of the competition. As you see there, it is the Lightning that have won the toss. They've elected to have a bowl first. I'm Patel, joined by Nate Hayes. As always, the 2 men in the middle, Ryan Chanderpaul and Christopher Van Tol. And then opening the bowling, looks like it's going to be the young Akil Posa. Nate, good day to you, my man.
Good day. What a beautiful day. Another beautiful day at Church Street Park. I'm stoked to be here.
No question about it. Akil Posa starting off proceedings with backwards square leg and a deep mid-wicket for Chanderpaul. No ball and insult to injury. It'll be 4 runs clipped down the leg side.
Tough start here. Tough way to start off. Well, we saw Orlando yesterday chasing, falling just shy, putting up a great effort against a wonderful looking Baltimore team, and today they've been sent in the middle to bat first, so we'll get to see already in 2 games a little bit of everything from them.
Free hit now for Ryan Chanderpaul. And cashes in. Not the start for Akil Posa that he wanted to 2025, but Chanderpaul says thank you very much.
Quick start here for Chanderpaul, who entered the game 17 runs shy of 1,000 for his minor league career, and he is
He got it right after the boundary. It wasn't for a lack of the ability to hit the ball that he was being dismissed. So he is someone who's carrying a bit of form, a bit of power on him. And now for Akil Posa, he's 1 ball into 2025. He's getting up 11 runs. The young man from Atlanta's got to find a way to find some rhythm. It won't be a boundary ball, just go around, but still probably down the wrong line.
And that brings Van Tol to the crease. Christopher Van Tol, the wicket keeper. He's already displayed some flashes of brilliance here at Church Street Park last night with his keeping, and his batting showed a lot of promise too. This is a very exciting opening pair for Orlando.
Yeah, no question about it. And it's an opening pair that Orlando will rely upon a ton, given the fact that traditionally and historically, this Galaxy team just struggles with the depth of their batting order. Typically don't have too many power hitters to come. So these 2 have to provide big starts in the power play. Thrashed brilliantly. And thrashed all the way for 4 runs.
Similar start for Christopher Van Tol as he had yesterday. If you'll remember, they went a little wider and fuller to him and paid the price early on with a boundary on one of his first couple of balls. Here he starts very similarly.
Yeah, Akil Posa, again, he's come in with pretty high regard. He's someone who's been all around the under-19 circuit and the youth circuit here in the States, and he's looking to make that next jump. 2024 was his most productive year for the Atlanta Lightning, and he has a new responsibility now, opening the bowling for his new captain in Monang Patel. Better. That's the length that he's going to want to go after here, Akil Posa.
Line's a lot better too. Don't give Van Tol too much width. He will absolutely make you pay for that. This one was a little bit closer to that off stump.
Yeah, again, for Posa, new captain. Had Sunny Patel last year, but he's since made the trip to the Atlanta Fire. It's Monang Patel that's come in. He's won his first toss as a member of the Lightning. And so it almost feels like a new audition to gain your captain's trust. Heavy bits of movement, and it's, I think, aided not only the grass on the surface, but there's a bit of wind moving about as well, Nate.
Yeah, this is the end where the wind's blowing to your back a little bit more from the Shiloh end, today at least. And you could see that helping the ball there. Were you a little surprised to see Van Tool not offer it that with no slip in place?
I think just thought he was going to let it be wide as well. It just kept itself snuck inside of it. Close of over number 1, 16 without loss. So a couple of changes on this edition of the Atlanta Lightning that, again, historically and traditionally we've seen. You look at someone like a Sagar Patel not in the team. You look at someone like a Sunny Patel who's historically been in this team last year. But Soeb Tai is someone who came over last season as well and actually offered quite a bit opening the batting, and then his ability with his off spin as well.
Mark Dayal, to me, stands out. A name on this sheet. But yes, one guy that they did keep, that they've kept around for a while, is Mark Parchment, who has been a fantastic batter in this division since the start of the division. He continues with this squad. Heath Richards, also with the team. There were rumors he might play with Morrisville this year. We were looking forward to maybe seeing that, but he stayed put in Atlanta. They rely on him quite a bit.
It will be Soeb Tai with the ball. This was a ploy used by the Lightning last season, opening the bowling with one seamer, one spinner, and Monik Patel has elected to go on with it, given the fact that you have a Thujan Ryan Chanderpaul, the left-hander, on strike. And Tai, he's not a huge turn of the ball, but again has that domestic history back in India. In last season, in his lone minor league season, in his 8 innings, he took 13 wickets at a strike rate of 14.3. So very productive, always dangerous in attacking the stumps.
Spin is quite important here in the South. And it's a luxury when you can start in the power play with a spinner with confidence.
Yeah, this is where confidence really becomes key, isn't it? Now he's going to be bowling to a Christopher Van Tull, the righty, with the ball turning back into him. And again, Tai is someone who comes from the Gujarat region of India. He plays a lot of his Ranji Trophy there and was able to bowl some off-break and was listed really as an off-break bowler for Baroda for a very long time to go along with his batting. But this will be an interesting test because we saw even Mohammed Mohsin struggle with Christopher Van Tull at times.
That's true. Yeah, he's got that great reach. We saw him stick on the back foot quite a bit to start, and then when he went to the front foot for those slog sweeps, it was pretty impressive.
2 men out. That's long on and cow corner. And there's the length to respect Van Tull's reach, as you mentioned.
Absolutely. You definitely want to cramp him. And you got an off spinner in there. If you hit the right length, you can successfully do that.
Yeah, just look to whip it around there. I think Van Tull, you can see him take the learnings from yesterday, wasn't it? You just felt that sometimes maybe he was looking to be too aggressive too early. Today, continuing to find singles as he did in the later part of his innings.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Lightning team today, the bowling depth, pretty impressive. We still have Emil Aponzo to come, obviously. Keith Richards, as we talked about. Very good spinners on this team.
Just churning out singles for the Galaxy. As you talk about the spinners of the Lightning, historically, again, a team that can provide a couple of them. Emil Aponzo is a big option for him. Soeb Tai, the big option for him. It's the seamers that really make you question this team and where do they go. Heath Richards is an option. We've already seen the one option of Akil Posa.
And they have one of the most unique bowlers in all of minor league cricket, in Fani Samhadri. Ooh.
And look to go and be expansive. Close of over number 2, 19 for none.
This is me.
Well, you mentioned that option, Nate. They've gone straight to it. Fani Samhadri, he's going to get the second over. Do you like the change?
I like any time Fani's in the game. I like any time he's in the attack. I think he's one of those bowlers you can literally plug him in at any point. We saw the season that Seattle won the championship. He led the league in wickets by quite a margin. He took a ton of wickets in the death. He's very difficult to hit big. And I think when players really try to take him on, when batters really try to take him on, he takes a lot of wickets, and that's why he's so well suited in the death. When you have a good team that can put up some runs, like the teams he's played for, in this case Atlanta. But yeah, he can bowl just about anywhere. I call him mystery medium.
He does well enough to field it on that occasion. Samhadri does. Yeah, Samhadri, you mentioned the resume. He's the co-leader in wickets in all of minor league cricket, shares that title with Sarbjit Singh Ladda. And again, like you said, it's the positions in which he bowls that make him so unique and effective.
And that arm slot. You saw him there with like more of a three-quarter delivery. Traditionally, he'll bowl that dead sidearm.
Yeah, just squeezes past on the outside edge. But again, plenty of options and plenty of opportunity now for Atlanta to be creative, because Samhadri is someone who's probably added this component to his game. Didn't have to do it quite a bit, did he, when he was in Seattle? Was not given the new ball. Was given the ball post-power play.
Yes. In
situations where teams had to take him on. This is the new era of Samhadri.
Yeah, he walks the line, historically walks the line between spinner and seamer, just because of his quicker ball is kind of his change-up delivery. But yeah, coming into the season, 85 wickets in his career, tied with Sarbjit Ladda for the lead. Now, Sarbjit Ladda had a few wickets of his own last night to put himself ahead. We'll see if Fani can answer to that.
Change in the field, the long off has gone back. Covers come inside the ring. Nearly well stopped, but it was a full toss and met with utter disdain. 4 runs for Christopher Van Tol.
Yeah, when you're Fani, you definitely need to find the pitch with the ball.
Yeah, no question about it. That's not the delivery he's going to want to recall and remember. Again, he's looking to almost get the one to dip, and that's what he does so well. The ball dips so extravagantly because of him.
He's so good on the fuller delivery with that dipping ball, as you mentioned.
Yeah, that's the delivery he's after. Squeezes past Arinchenshu, the young keeper, but that's what he's after, Samhadri. That ball that just dips and slows past the outside edge.
You saw him in the first season of Major League Cricket. He was drafted by the Seattle Orcas, where he had played in 2022, winning the minor league championship. That championship took place here against Atlanta Fire. He was quite good in the finals weekend. Big part of that team, and he's got a lot of great bowlers around him. I think that's the way you want Fani.
Quick single, and gets there in the end. Brilliant bowling from Samhadri. It's a real fight back from the Lightning after the start that Chandrapal was able to get off to. Remember, scored 11 off his very first delivery, given the free hit and then the 6 to follow it. But now he's been tamed down quite a bit, and the scoring rate starting to slow as well.
And you think of 11 runs off that first ball. The youngster Posa only allowed 5 after that in his next 5 deliveries.
Nicely worked away. Fielder in place, and it will just be a single to close off. Over number 3, 26 for none. Crive catch, put down. Should have been really easy, and you can see the frustration.
Well, you were saying you sensed something was about to happen in this innings, and something almost happened. Very first ball of the 4th over, Sobtai still in the attack, and that should have been a catch.
That's a cry, but not going to be given.
Chandrapal with 15 runs this innings, 2 shy of his 1,000.
Yeah, again, Ty just operates smartly. Can changes things up slightly, can get a little bit aggressive when he needs to, and make subtle changes in the field like we're seeing now. The long off just got pushed a bit wider. And that one just squeezed into the onside. Really tight stuff here from the Atlanta Lightning. Really keeping things really to a minimum, Nate.
And that takes Chandrapal to 999 on his career runs.
Well, you don't want to be stuck there. We're going to be on 999 at the non-strikers end for a while. But Ventul, I think, isn't going to be too worried about just feeding strike. They are going to want this quick single. And they get there in the end. Some loose work with the gloves at the moment. We've seen once or twice the ball is just almost beaten Aranchechu, who's usually very sure-handed. So maybe just something to watch throughout the day. Thank you. And what a way to become the 21st batter in all of minor league cricket to get to 1,000 runs.
Well, you got a cheer out of it that way. Wasn't sure if the bench knew he was that close to 1,000, but they cheered. They're going to.
Oh, Soab Tai looks like he might have just hurt himself on the way down, but one of the best indeed. Dajnaran Chandrapal, congratulations. Close of 4, 35 for none. That man on your screen moves past the 1,000 mark, and again, he's been a real special cricketer in minor league cricket. Not all of his runs you would say would be consequential, but I think this season there seems to be a different fighter underneath him.
And underneath the entire team as well.
And speaking of fire, the former Atlanta Fire, remember, Emilio Alponso makes his first stride with the other Atlanta side.
Yeah, you teed that one up. Long-time Atlanta Fire spinner, Emilio Alponso.
Yeah, again, I think everyone was shocked to see him not in Fire colors, to be making that transfer over. But again, this is another major leaguer the Lightning have added to their repertoire. He's someone who comes in with a lot of experience. Again, he's done a lot of work out in Sri Lanka, but even just since being in the States, there aren't too many left-arm seamers going around that have the resume that this man does.
Yeah, Alponso has been quite good here at Church Street Park. He's played an awful lot of cricket here.
This one's sent down the ground and all the way. It'll be a boundary. And Christopher Van Tol picking up where he left off.
Posa gave chase, but couldn't get to it. Here, they're looking for the ball right now. It's rolled up the hill. It's up the hill. Just behind the fence. Just letting the fielder know, everybody. He got it. He got it. Perfect. Not as much help here with the ball finding committee at this time of day as there is at nighttime, Aman.
Yeah, no question about it.
We have to be the committee sometimes.
Officially ruled a 6. And again, this is what we're talking about with Emilio Alponso. Does this so well. Just changes it up, creates a good amount of variation.
Yeah, I really like this bowling attack from Atlanta. As you mentioned before, Aman, the only question is, do they have enough pace? Here at Church Street Park, you can bowl spinners in the power play. You can do that just about anywhere, but
yeah, it always becomes an interesting question, especially when you go into talks about the playoffs, right? When you talk about going, if you have to go to the Central and play games on those surfaces where it is very seam friendly.
That's right.
Do you have the pace bowling lineup that can keep you in the game?
It's definitely a good question to ask. We saw that last season. It felt like East Bay, even though they had 3 terrific seamers, they didn't seem to have enough in the Super 8s.
This is a big shout. I think it's headed down the leg side. Emilio Alponso's very unhappy about that decision. You see him with the stares, hands on the hips as well. But I think it's a good call. I think it's a very good call.
Close one, close one. Definitely going to stress out the batter there, but I think he's reacting a little bit too harshly at that.
Yeah, again,
I agree with you. It looked like it was going down the leg.
He stood on leg stump, and I think that's what saved Van Tol. Gets through and goes all the way for 4, adds insult to injury, and a frustrated Emilio Alponso stands and watches.
Very good opening partnership so far. We spoke last night about how you want to get through the power play with, obviously, as little loss as possible here at Church Street Park. 45 to 50 runs with 1 or less loss is usually a pretty good power play here. And they're at 48 without loss with an entire over left in the power play. So that's 5 overs down, 48 without loss.
What a power play so far for the Galaxy. Again, you mentioned yesterday you think if you're somewhere around 40 with the loss of 1 wicket, you're in a really good position. Well, it's 48 for none with an over to go. direct hits, but Van Tol safely home.
Got a jinx there. Yes, I think it also depends on your squad. It depends on your team. I think 40 plus without loss for a team like Orlando is a very good power play.
Yeah, and I think as the 50s come on the board, now you're rolling through the Lightning's bowling options. Mark Dial, he's now with the ball in hand. You were very fond of seeing what he could do and what he could bring to the team.
A lot of experience in the West in minor league cricket in the past.
Similar area this time, no run on offer.
Dale Duff, dangerous on both sides of the ball, bat and ball. Great addition to this team, I think. Just a good all-around cricketer.
The stun pulled. Fielder there, but you can't celebrate. You can't celebrate. Why? Look at the umpire. Look at his hand. It's stretched out and open. The fielders just now realized it and can't believe it. That's Heath Richards stationed there. A second free hit.
Ooh. No ball from an off spinner. This is a cardinal sin, as our friend down in Texas would say. That's tough. That is tough luck. Right into Heath Richards' safe hands, but nothing to show for it.
Again, skies this one. A free hit, however, so you'll just scamper on for one. A couple of opportunities for the Lightning to take advantage of, and again, just kind of throwing things away. There was a big drop of Dudgeon Chanderpaul. Now, this no ball, really, they're just user mistakes. They're unforced errors.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for the Lightning here, Atlanta Lightning. Typically,
all the way down the ground. 6 runs for Christopher Van Tol.
big hit for Van Tol, who's showing time and again how capable he is. We want to see a big innings from him. He keeps knocking on the door. He keeps showing signs. Maybe today's the day, but what a good start for Van Tol. 28 from 19 so far.
Yeah, the spinners haven't really done the trick yet for the Atlanta Lightning. They need to find their lines and lengths here. That'll be a wide as well. Again, just can't escape this over. Looking to go big, just unable to really do anything with it.
And that's the over. 59 without loss after the power play.
Again, just a change of ends now for Sohab Tai. Morning Patel really using up his options, just continuously rotating his bowlers. We see that in the national team quite a bit, where he will change things up, but this almost feels out of desperation rather than a tactical decision.
Yeah, that's true. I think they're reaching for a wicket here. They really want one. Mononk is a restless captain, that's for sure. He does have a lot of weapons in this side, so he will absolutely exploit them all.
Yeah, nowhere to go there for Dajnaran Chandrapal. And again, it'll be curious to see what the plan is now post power play for the Atlanta Lightning to break through this opening stand that's been brilliant.
You got to hand it to this Lightning side. They always put together a pretty interesting team with some big names from around the country. If you'll remember, they had Unmuk Chand for a time. Now USA captain Mononk Patel.
An interesting little shot there. Had to deal with a bit of turn. And so those are things that you're starting to look at and say, okay, the ball's starting to move maybe. Maybe there's a little bit of something on offer for my spinners.
Yeah, you see the score here. 60 without loss. And they were gifted a lot of these runs.
Yeah, the extras were there in terms of really the no balls that were given up weren't there. Maybe not as many wides, but opportunities, maybe looseners that have come in seemingly regular intervals.
Yeah, you take that 11 off the first ball away from this, you're still in the 40s. It's a very different position. Obviously, there's ifs and buts and all that.
Yeah, again, so uptight. Now, this is what we expect from him. To me, where he becomes the most effective, where he takes his wickets, is when he can string along 4 dot balls and an over. We saw him do it at Button Veers Cricket Complex quite a few times last year, and then he would change ends or change angles, and that's what would just force the hand of the batter.
Yeah, getting a few dots and an over is always going to put pressure.
It's lifted. Has it gone far enough? No, just one bounce. But again, there was that opportunity. There was that little bit of what if about the shot there.
Yeah, there was. It ended up being safe because of the timing, because he was able to put it in the direction of the field that he wanted to. Wasn't struck very well, but the placement is what saved him.
Now he's got the left-hander for the first time in the over on strike. 1 ball left in over 7. Both of these batters well into the 20s, well set in. And Chandrapal just doing this very well. Just maneuvering the ball around. Continues to push strike left and right. Close of over number 7. 62 for none. Nate, we talked about it feels there might be a bit of desperation right now for Mononk Patel and the Lightning, and another bowling option, the 6th bowling option being brought in just 7 overs. It's Heath Richards.
Heath Richards, and you might have seen him earlier in the innings if it had been another season or another game. But we're already into our 6th bowler of the innings here after seven overs. So uptight so far, Mononk's pick with 3 overs bowled. But the variety that he has to choose from here, that the captain has to choose from, a very good thing. We talked about the lack of depth of batting in this Orlando's team. That doesn't matter if you don't get wickets, if you're Atlanta. So, maybe a little bit of panic might be in order.
Yeah, I'm not sure about panic, but definitely some urgency around this bowling group. Again, Heath Richards in Major League hasn't been used as a bowler, hasn't really bowled in minor league the last couple of years, but someone who does have this ability hasn't really gotten back to his best with the ball. I don't think since he's been in the States you've seen him in real rhythm, but here's an opportunity. Acrobatic in the end from Aaron Chenshu. He's kept up with the keeping standards that we saw set yesterday.
Yes, once again, a South Division keeper making an athletic stop. Chenshu there at the full extent of his reach.
I'm a big fan of Aaron Chenshu, and I'm really excited that he has the gloves in hand. Could he easily gone to Monank Patel, obviously the American keeper, but Chenshu is this young standout. And what I like about Chenshu is not only his gloves, but with his bat. I think he's really exciting. I think he's a proper talent, and I think one to watch for, and this is another one in Heath Richards.
Yeah, and we see Monank regularly playing with other keepers around. I mean, every team has multiple keepers, but in that USA squad, the number of keepers in that squad, and Monank as captain, he can play anywhere.
The one thing for Heath Richards has really been his action, and it's been almost the robotic nature of his action at times. You don't feel as if he's able to really go through the motions of his bowling action, but today it feels the most fluid it's felt in a long time. I would flash back to 2 years ago when he first started here in minor league cricket, and the way he almost had to maneuver his body around his head to get his arm across. First today, you see it more, maybe a bit slingier, but it feels more natural through the crease today.
More fluidity. Yeah. You have to think those net sessions with Major League has helped him.
And even if it doesn't seem as if he's getting an insane amount of pace, which he's not someone who is incredibly pacey, he's a big individual, both height and he is a strapping young man. He's got plenty of muscle on him, so he does get that extra bounce off the surface.
I think what stands out to me, you mentioned how it's a little more fluent. The ease in which he's bowling right now. It seems like this is very effortless.
Executes the Yorkers to perfection, that Heath Richards.
What a ball. That was a good one. Very good ball. We did see him explode a couple of times in Major League with the bat. I believe he hit a 100+ meter six in Oakland, was it? Wasn't it?
I think you might be thinking of Matthew Trump.
Well, I know Matthew Trump did. Well, the 106 one. I thought we had one also from Heath, but maybe it wasn't. Anyways,
he's
certainly capable of it.
Like you said yesterday, we'll ask ChatGPT.
We'll have to ask it.
Whether this over goes for a wicket or not, what we're seeing in the over is a quiet one. 4 runs off the first 5 deliveries. You don't give up a boundary here. Okay, you're starting to at least make this run scoring group stagnant, and I think that's the first thing you hear from the best captains of the world, the Pat Cummins of the world, say when they are looking to take wickets in any format of the game. It's how can you string dot balls together and apply pressure through the dot balls. And strong bowling like this, where you only give up 5 runs in an over, could be the start thereafter. 8 overs gone, 67 for none.
So I'm sorry, but the The sixes he hit was last season, 2024 in Major League Cricket.
Yes, he did hit a couple off Horace Ralph in that final over against the Unicorns where he nearly got them over the line. This could be out. Oh, excellent effort. And Heath Richards there is going to somehow save a couple of runs.
Well, speaking of the devil there. Look at that. Yeah, Heath Richards. Great effort from him. Excellent effort. To dive for that and stop it and actually keep it in. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, again, Sobtai likes to throw a couple of different deliveries at batters. I'm not sure that one was what he was after. It was far too short. But again, you love to see the commitment from Heath Richards. Took a couple of brilliant catches this year in Major League Cricket, especially the one down in Florida. Looked like, I called it like Keyshawn Johnson down at the boundary, leaping down there straight behind the bowler.
Well, it's been great to see our domestic players improving every year in every facet of the game. We saw a lot of great Major League catches from domestic players. We were talking about that last night too.
Yeah, no question. And again, Mukhtar Ahmed, like you mentioned yesterday, Heath Richards. We see Sanjay Krishnamurti take a couple of brilliant ones. He's in action out on the West Coast today. And that's the brilliant part of minor league cricket. Yesterday it was just the lone game in the South, but there's plenty of action going around all over the country. The Stallions and the New England Eagles just kicked off a couple of minutes ago, and plenty of action that's going through. The Somerset Cavaliers, they're in their first innings against the Philadelphians. Haven't seen just a couple of results so far. It's the Metroplex Tracers. They've cashed in their first win of the season against the Michigan Cricket Stars.
They did so with Nosh Kenjige taking 4 wickets.
And there is another clash out in the Central that could be rather interesting. The St. Louis Americans are 92 for 9 with 8 deliveries to go, chasing 122 against the Lone Star Athletics. So, we don't want you to leave us here, but all this action is on MLC Network and, again, streamed by the very best in the business.
Orlando content to rotate strike here after a start like this. 72-73 without loss in the 9th over. What do you think they're targeting? Remember, the dude's not going to come in the second innings.
Yeah, and I think they also understand this is going to be a little bit more of a tired wicket as you keep batting on it. Again, this is a 3rd innings on it. The Lightning will be on a 4th innings when they come into bat. It is a touch slower today than it was yesterday. It feels. I think that, you could be after a score of 160 and still be in the contest. Close of over 9, 73 for none. A couple of quiet overs, just 6 runs from over number 9. Over 10 features Heath Richards. Still a bit of movement out of the air, Nate. Yes, a bit of the sling involved there. But I feel as if Heath Richards is asking some interesting questions so far.
He's looking very good today, to be honest. He's one of those potential fast bowling all-rounders that we have in the country. More of a batting all-rounder at this point, but showing signs today that he might be true square all-rounder.
And again, plenty of action all across the country today, featuring a lot of the teams and players that are looking to continue to move their way along and up the rankings of domestic cricket and into minor Major League cricket.
Come here, I can help you. They're doing the commentary. Sorry. Yeah, sorry very much.
Well kept again from Orange Shenshu.
Wide there.
Quick club, you go to quick club and search for minor league cricket.
And again, speaking of the action all across the country, the Manhattan Yorkers were enveloped in maybe one of the more interesting matches of the weekend already, and you won't see that based off the scorecard, but it was a rain-affected game. Inner half of the bat there. The New York Titans scored 132 for 7, so it wasn't a crazy big total, but you consider the New York Ovals, and that total on that surface feels pretty decent. The revised total was a 6-over game that you need to score 45 runs in, and the Yorkers, they only managed to get to 38, but made things pretty interesting the whole way through. Was no opportunity for any of these individuals to set themselves in and set themselves up to play big. Had to go, and so it looks like a telephone number, that scorecard for the Yorkers. Plenty of action all around as you see Richards with an extra.
Here's a crazy thing about that innings. As you mentioned, they needed 45 and 6 overs to win. They got 12 extras from the NYC Titans. 12 extras in a 6-over span where they only needed 45. That is tough.
Very tough. Again, there's tough batting conditions as well up there. So, again, there's so much intrigue around every single division. Each provides its own challenge. And, again, it just makes for such a fascinating watch. And then, a couple of our buddies are always calling those. Matt and Lenny up there. And the father-son duo that's taken all of our living rooms and hearts by storm. You have Joe Hickey out west. You got Brian Barish who'll be calling some games. He'll be calling a Philadelphians game here pretty soon.
Yeah, Somerset Cavaliers off to a great start against the Philadelphians. 138 for 2 and 14 overs. These are two very, very good teams.
This one will beat Fine Leg. A lot of work to be done, and Samadhi will be able to just clean it up. But still no boundaries, and that's, I think, the big key here. They're limiting these boundaries, but you look at it on the flip side for the Galaxy, they're saying, look, in the ball, we're going to have this 10-over break. We'll be able to regroup, redefine what we need to do, and then I think you're going to see a much different approach from the opening pair.
Yeah, they are really steering this game right now. A lot of pressure on Atlanta to break this partnership on this last ball of the first half of the innings.
Yep. Dudgeon wants a second. And Van Til lately agrees, and he could be gone. Finger stays down, gets home. Heath Richards again unhappy. And again, it's just frustration. And it speaks to Richards' frustration. Close of over 10, it's 83 for none, and we are going to have a drinks break. We'll take a short break in the commentary box. We'll be right back. Tune into the other matches on MOC Network, but join us very soon. We'll be right back with plenty more action. Huge shifts, and the Lightning will feel frustrated, but they haven't done themselves any favors, Nate. And that wicket column is empty. A lot to do with them and their mistakes.
That's right. They had the one drop, the no ball that was caught. Van Tool has had kind of two lives himself with the no ball catch, and then that one where he was out by a good, 10 inches, it looked like to me.
Yeah, the one reason why you'd say that it wasn't given out on that replay that we got a chance to look at, you had Heath Richards and then another fielder stood between the umpire and the stumps, possibly hindering the view of the umpire. Again, very tough to make these decisions in real time. If you're unsure, you've got to give the tie to the batter. And again, I know the Lightning will feel frustrated by that lone decision, but the no ball, that's a huge moment. You had Van Tol gone. Heath Richards takes the catch easily. It was right to the man, right to the plan. And you give that opportunity up. The drop of Dajran Chandrapal, it's not like they haven't created opportunities. They themselves haven't executed well enough to take advantage of those opportunities.
That's right, yeah. They just didn't do enough to finish the deal a couple of times. Very unusual off-spinner no ball. You have to kick yourself for that one.
This time it's Amila Aponzo. Straight through. How often do we see it? The break in play leads to the wicket, and the decision of Van Tol's run out doesn't cost another run.
Just swinging right across it. Ball goes right under his bat. What a delivery there from Aponzo.
Van Tol given a couple of lives, but unable to cash in any further. 36 he departs for. It's 83 for 1. Romario King comes out with the bat in hand to replace Van Tol. The platform is set, however. You have to say, for even maybe the poor shot selection that was there from Van Tol, the job was filled and done by Van Tol very well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I thought we might see Van Tol convert a 50 today, is what I thought. But he did the job with Chandrapal. And let's see here, Romario King. And we see Chandrapal is pretty quick between the wickets. Let's see if they can steal a few runs here, this pair.
This time beats the gloves of Chenchu. Again, tried the arm ball, just kept going and kept sliding from Aponzo. And with his pace, you're never going to see that one again.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's just such a break in pressure, too. You take the wicket, Romario, you're new to the middle, having to face a major leaguer in Amila Aponzo, who's very difficult to deal with, doesn't give you much time. I just think that that's a case of Aponzo saying, oh, I can get his wicket, I see the stumps, I'm going after it, rather than going to what makes him brilliant, which is his economy rate in minor league cricket.
Yeah, true, that's the 12th extra. 12 runs from extras. We're barely through the first half of the innings. So yes, once again, Atlanta kind of shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. Again, this is where, Romario King, you're new to the middle. You've seen a couple of them slower. You're not really sure what to do. This is where now you can start to lay the trap and set them up. Get the quicker one that keeps on with the arm. can just see him toying and just starting to set a ploy. Getting a comedy rate for Emil Aponzo. That's what made him special. 5.75 through his career. That's 50 minor league matches.
It is very special bowling.
I think it's just going to land safe. Pick the lone gap. It was a long on and not the mid on that was needed for Aponzo.
And just safely right over the bowler's head there. Didn't get anything on it, but put it in a safe place. And one more ball left for Aponzo's second over.
Yeah, I wonder the approach from Chandrapal as well, as he feels if he needs to be an anchor through the innings, or is he going to go after it now past that 10 over mark? Wants to. Comfortably taken and gotten in the end. This one's come off of Romario King. I think it might have hit him in the back of the head. Scary, scary stuff here. But it seems as if King is going to be okay. Close of 11.91 for one. That is nasty stuff there, Nate.
Definitely doinked him right in the back of the head. You hate to see that. Oof. He's going to get a little bit of a checkup here.
Yeah, and you love to see this from the Lightning as well. Mark Parchman just come over, give him a little bit of a tap. Funny Samhadri wants to make sure he's okay as well and see where it's hit him. It's a scary place at the back of the head as well, and it feels pretty low, almost towards that neck area. And right there's a soft spot. There's just a couple of places where I feel if it hits, it could really be damaging. But King seems to be in good spirits and all right. And again, we breathe a sigh of relief, everyone watching.
Yeah, you hate to see an ugly thing like that happen. Certainly a mistake, an accident, but a nice firm throw. Always a risk of getting hit with a throw from the deep. Chandrapal on strike here, 42. Actually, no, that was the end of the over, wasn't it? So now we've got Romario King freshly bopped in the head with the ball. He's going to take strike.
Yeah, again, Romario King, someone you highlighted yesterday, is someone that brought back into this team, and again, we'll rely upon in that number 3 position. We saw promise from Danush Gavripakkam and Shob Syed yesterday. Orrington Hamilton showed some stuff with the bat. It was King that you maybe felt a bit disappointed by. Wanted to see him step in and get into real rhythm.
He's got the chance here.
Yeah, and again, it would just be curious to see the role and the score that Orlando's after. With this start, you reckon with their batters, they can manage their way up to 170 and 180. How is that missed leg stump? Oh, that is agonizingly close.
Oof. Dayal in his second over. We mentioned before the no ball that was off of his bowling. Let's see, he's got 2 overs after this one. Aponzo still has 2 overs. Heath Richards still has 2. Fonny's got 3.
Yeah, plenty of bowling options here for the Lightning. And what I love to see, it was just right before that previous ball, the young keeper, Aryan Chentry. We've talked about him a couple of times. He was the one there who stopped Dayal from continuing to run it, and he wanted the long off pushed wider. Why did he want that? Well, he saw the shot selection there from Romario King. He saw that he's looking to just open it up and play more towards cover. So he says, okay, let's just push that long off wider. So if he tries that same jump out and lofted off drive, we've got the fielder in the right angle. Those are things you want to see from your young cricketers as they continue to develop.
That's probably one of the reasons why Manong Patel feels comfortable having the youngster keeping. Any way to aid with the direction of the game is a big plus.
Thunderball has just slowed up a touch since his initial start. Again, maybe unfair the fact that he started with 11 off one ball, but you just want to see what is the role for him. And it could easily be the anchor. Do you mind him being the anchor and playing through 20 overs?
I think at this point, 12th over, new batter in, I think he's doing exactly what he should.
Finds one to close out over number 12, 94 for one. Everywhere they go, the Lightning carries flags and drums. You hear and you see lightning, whether it's in the sky or it's in minor league cricket. And they'll get the drums playing every now and again. I just heard a couple starting to blare. So they want to wicket this Lightning contingent in the crowd. Excellent commitment from Chenchu. Keeps it to just one. Nate, it is in the fair here at Church Street Park. Just the one game today, and it is an afternoon game, so you won't get the lights, the under the lights feeling. But Nate, your ice cream truck is back.
Ice cream truck is here. I tested it out yesterday for everybody. The vanilla flavor is pretty solid, gotta say.
Why you go for the vanilla flavor, Nate?
Well, it's a gluten-free option.
Well, there you go.
I gotta worry about that sort of thing.
So if you are looking for some gluten-free options, we got it at Church Street Park. Thunderball is looking to continue to get singles around. I think that might be the right approach against Emilio Aponzo. I think tactically, you look at this Lightning bowling group, Aponzo easily the most experienced bowler on it. Maybe Funny Samhadu would be the second, but you still have Akil Posa. You would feel more comfortable taking on a Shoaib Tai. You would feel more comfortable taking on a Heath Richards. So you're waiting for those bowlers to go after. So if you can accompany those overs with 5 to 6 run overs here off Aponzo, I think you'd feel more than pleased.
Yeah, 100%. Dale also with an awful lot of experience. Oof.
Aponzo unhappy. Feels that one should not be wide. I do think it is wide. I think the argument from Aponzo is that it's passed over leg stump. And Aponzo, I think you just be wrong here for the second time in the match. But you can't fault the bowlers. There's very little things that help the bowlers, very few things that go in their favor. But Aponzo is frustrating the heck out of Romario King.
And not uncommon for Aponzo to frustrate the heck out of somebody.
He's just aired in line just a couple of times, and with his pace, once he does that, it's always destined for 4. 100 comes on the board now for the Galaxy. Aponzo, I'm saying that's the area that King is looking to score off me. It's not an accidental stroke. Plug in a fine leg fielder. It can be inside the ring, but let's put a fine leg fielder in, and there you go. They've just now added that fielder there. Okay, take that scoring option away, make him play in front of him, and if he wants to access the leg side, take away his favorite scoring region. And again, right there, he hasn't been able to score anything that wasn't through fine leg. Close of 13, 101 for 1. Dial will get into his third over.
A little bit of optimism here for Orlando. We were just looking at how many more overs of spin Atlanta can bowl, as they tend to be frustrating. And they've only got 3 overs left to spin for the rest of the innings. So we're going to see some more pace.
Problem becomes you're going to see more Funny Samadri.
That's true.
Funny Samadri still with 3 overs to go. And he does his best bowling in the last 5 overs, as you mentioned.
Yes. If you give him 3 on the trot right at the end, it's pretty good. That would be 15, 17, 19, or 16, 18, 20.
It could go either way, and then you would have plenty of overs between Bosa and Heath Richards. I'd be curious to see if Akil Bosa gets another over. You would like to think that Bunga Patel would help the confidence of the young man. Cry of catch, but might have just placed it into the gap. Yeah, to perfection. A boundary for Romario King this time.
That went for 6 or 4 with that bleacher in the sidewalk in the background. Even the umpire was waiting confirmation just to be sure.
Wants one more, and it just falls short.
Directly at that fielder there.
Yeah, Milo Ponzo thought for a moment he was in the game. I think rightfully turned down the catch in the end.
Yeah, that would have been an amazing effort.
But Mario King has turned the switch here. He wants to score boundaries. Has Chandrapal found that same desire? Or is he, again, more than happy to be the anchor through the innings? I don't think either is a bad option. I just think you got to commit to whatever option you are.
That's right. And somebody has to go. And you just said Romario King showing signs that he's got the intentions right now.
Takes advantage of an error delivery. Initially called for 2, but we'll just settle for that single. And I think for Chandrapal it can change with incoming batters, right? With Romario King, who maybe is a bit more expansive, yeah, you can take the back seat, but maybe for Adanish Kavaripakam when he comes in, okay, now it's time for you to go, and let Kavaripakam be the single and the accumulator guy. Tried that shot again, really to no avail.
Bowler kind of followed him there a little bit.
It feels as if Chandrapal maybe could have pushed for a second. He's so quick.
He's so quick.
And there was so much room for Heath Richards to go. This maybe thought he might have wanted to scamper home, but what he really wanted was just the Nelson on the board. He just wanted it to say 1-1-1-1. Turn down at the close of 14. It is full Nelsons, 111 for 1. It is Amila Ponzo that comes in with the ball. We thought maybe a Funny Samhadri here to give yourself a couple of options with his 3 overs to spare, but it could be the case, like you said, where he could be going 16, 18, 20 rather than 15, 17, 19.
It would be strange to see Funny not get the full quota.
Mm-hmm.
I think he will, but it looks like it's going to be 16, 18, 20 for Funny.
But Chandrapal, knowing that the ball is coming back into him off of a Ponzo, seeing this field loaded on the leg side, is he willing to take on that option? Takes a spin out of the equation. And again, I don't think this is a decision that doesn't make sense here for the Galaxy. I actually don't mind the decision to say we're going to get 6 runs off an Emilio Ponzo over, and then the last 5 we'll have to just readjust for it.
Yeah, at the same time, we are expecting a lot of funny ball coming up, and he does like to take wickets.
If he gets
when
back,
you take him on hard.
if he gets back to Major League Cricket, as they come back for a second, should be run out, that'll be the end of Ryan Chanderbal. Disappointed. He misses out on 11th half century, and a direct hit from the deep is the result of it. Excellent. Needed it because the dive was in pursuit from Chanderbal. Goes for 47, 114 for 2. A promotion for Shoaib Syed, and rightfully so. No question about it, given his contributions with the bat just a day ago, Nate. He was brilliant in, again, a game that they didn't win, the Galaxy, but they showed promising signs, and he was one of them.
Absolutely. We were discussing amongst ourselves if they were going to bring in Dinesh Kavarapakam or Syed, and it looks like they went with Syed. I would have gone with the same decision, really, unless there had been a leggy in, or unless we'd seen a little bit more shorter deliveries.
Yeah, Syed was 24 off 18 a day ago. He wants a second, and this time quick enough. This was placed into a gap, and there was always 2 on offer, and great commitment from both batters as well. I think this was very different from what we saw just a delivery ago.
Yes, we have seen the run rate really slow down over the last few overs.
Fielder, exceptionally well done. And never easy patrolling the boundary, but he's kept his foot off that boundary rope.
Very well stopped. We've seen a couple of great stops down there in front of the shelter. Earlier from Heath. I think Orlando's going to want to really pick up the pace here.
Yeah, you can see the intent has clearly changed. Syed wanted a second, but it'll just be a single to close the 15th. 119 for 2. Nate, you mentioned the fact that the scoring rate has really descended and come to a screeching halt. The Orlando Galaxy were 83 for none at the close of the 10th over. You had your opening partnership still intact, and with an opportunity to get to 160, 170, you have failed to climb 40 more runs, at 40 runs, at 30 runs in the last 5 overs.
Yeah, that's rough. It leaves a lot of heavy lifting, and as we mentioned, Fani Simhadri is your star death bowler for Atlanta. You don't want to leave a lot of work to do in the last 5 overs when you've got a guy like Fani, who specializes in taking advantage of aggression.
And you have to understand as well, yes, the fact that who's bowled in the last 5 overs. It's been Emilio Ponzo, who's been with 3 overs, and Dial with 2. But the problem was Dial was bowling overs of 3 runs, and there just needed to be a touch more intensity, whether that was running between the wickets or looking for the boundaries. And now they have to do it against Funny, the leading wicket taker, the co-leader in wickets in the history of minor league cricket. This is excellent running, however.
Excellent running. Yeah, Funny, you see there, his arm dropped down a little bit earlier in the power play, or when he was bowling in the power play. He had more of a three-quarters angle delivery, more like a 45 degree, and now he's come down almost to 90 degrees, almost to a dead flat sidearm style delivery, which we love to see from him, coming right out of the middle of the chest of the umpire when you're batting.
And it's all very intentional as well. It's not just, oh, this is what happens. This is a plan. This is a man who bowls to a plan. You can see the length very much changed.
Ooh.
A better throw might have resulted in the run out as well, but making the Galaxy work for every single run on the board.
Let's see how Romario picked up his pace. He was, even though the innings has slowed down quite a bit. I think he was at one point about 8 from 13 or something, 7 from 13 runs. And now he's over a run of ball. But he's going to want to pick it up even more, a lot more than that. Let's see what Syed can do here.
And it'll just be curious to see the pace in which these two, like you mentioned, go about looking for boundaries. And which end do they do it off? Are they happy to say, against Funny Samadhi, we're looking for anywhere from 7 to 12 and over, and then at the other end, we can try to cash in with a couple of boundaries?
I think it's going to be tricky.
Romario King wants all of Funny Samadhi. He's not waiting to see who else is going to be coming along to bowl.
Well, this is the beauty of saving Fani for the death, for three overs at the end. It's really, if you have the type of bowling attack that you can do that you can save him, it really usually pays off for you. You saw that last delivery was fantastic.
And this is where I would love to see the next over go to Akil Bosa. It could easily go to Heath Richards. It could easily go to Mark Dial. But the reason I would love to see it in Bosa's hands is because when you get to a position to make the playoffs, you require seamers, and seamers require wickets. And this one easily taken in the end. Funny Samadri's got his first of 2025.
Wicket number 86 in his career. Fani Simha. But Orlando still has a lot of wickets in hand.
Mario King departs for 26, 123 for 3. A second promotion for the Orlando Galaxy. Orrington Hamilton showed off impressive power just 24 hours, less than 24 hours ago.
I'm applauding this. I like this.
Samadri likes it. Chenshu nearly had a stumping. Close of 16, 123 for 3.
wide delivery there. Not a good start after I just talked him up.
Yeah, the commentators curse. You saw him look back at the crease mark, and there's been a couple of big gusts of wind as well, but you can see a little bit of adjustment on the crease, just trying to dry it up, get rid of some of the extra bits and pieces that may have just jumped on due to the course of the day.
That's a good answer.
He's got that extra bit of bounce. We mentioned it, because of his frame, he doesn't have to do a lot to generate it as well.
Yeah, I like that delivery. That was the very, very good delivery. That's out of body type of death bowling right there.
Feuder's under it and spills it, and might have spilled it all the way to the rope. No, it won't get all the way there. You saw when the ball was in the air, hand was
to catch that ball at that height.
That's Nicholas Manohar. Let's put that one down. Wow.
Catch. Oh.
Has he tight-roped the boundary?
He did.
He has. Unbelievable.
What a catch.
A drop a ball ago, and this time it's held on to.
Very good catch there. Excellent stuff.
And that's Soab Thai stationed on the boundary. That was the end of Orrington Hamilton. 127 for 4. Preston Clark comes in with the bat. That was a moment of absolute brilliance there from the Atlanta Lightning.
Yeah, Atlanta, Heath, the Heath.
And again, brilliant tightrope on the boundary. Underrated part of that was Morrell getting the camera and the tripod out of the frame. It was a telephoto as well. Just have another look. $1,000 and maybe some injury as well.
Great stuff. Oh, we have got such a great community here in the South, full of people with so much awareness.
Quickly gets that single through. Heath Richards acted almost just as the corner in between that ball and its destination. Says, nope, we're not going to even risk a backup.
Maybe saved a headshot too. You never know. One ball left in the 17th over. 130 for 4. Very different than 6 overs ago.
Incredibly different. Again, it was 83 for none at the close of 10. Struggling to match that production, even with wickets in hand, are the Galaxy. Another quiet over comes and goes. 17 gone, 131 for 4. the challenge never gets easy with this Lightning team once you get to the death. If you're not able to score off Heath Richards, scoring at the other end off Funny Samhadri isn't going to be simple. But Shoaib Syed, he's a man filled with confidence. Saw it yesterday with the shots he hit against Sarbjeet Ludda, against Mohammad Mohsen. He was going after them and did it well. Can he produce similar results here? I love this from Arun Chenchu. Stood up at the stumps, forcing batters to take Samhadri on from the crease.
Samhadri with a little bit of extra oomph in that one. As I mentioned before, his change-up delivery is a quicker delivery that doesn't dip as much. That's why I like to call him mystery medium, because he's almost like a very fast spinner.
Enough work out there from Nicholas Manohar. Can keep it to just the one. Excuse me, they got back for a second. Very quick. Shoaib Syed.
Good scamper in there. Good intentions. I think Orlando still has to be thinking 160 plus. They still have to be playing with that intent.
He just hammers the ball everywhere, Syed. Once it gets on to the middle, you never see it again.
And you mentioned it yesterday.
Again, he doesn't seem shy to the task. It's very reminiscent of Sai Mukamala or Sanjay Krishnamurti when you just talk about the attitude when they're facing folks that you hold in high regard. And that's such a key component. You don't want to play the bowler, you want to play the ball. And I think Syed has embodied that brilliantly. This time, he's just opened up off stump, plays all around it, and Samhadri says, "You might get one on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, and you'll never fool me."
Just does so much work for him.
A 6 and an out for Shoaib Syed, 139 for 5. Hardik Desai walks out, and could be a special moment inbound. Sarbjeet Ludda and Funny Samhadri came into the season as the co-leader of wickets in minor league cricket. It was Sarbjeet Ludda yesterday with 2. Samhadri now has 2. And he's looking to jump back up top of the table. If he gets his 3rd, he will be the outright leader. And I'm sure those two will go back and forth all season long, Nate Hayes.
As they always kind of have. They did it all last season. He just knows taking wickets in the death. This is Funny Samhadri for you. I'd love to see him drafted again in Major League Cricket.
All the way. Don't think about catching that. Hardik Desai is latched on and is pushed to scoring back up. Close of the 18th over. It's 145 for 5.
West End there. What a shot. Big one. And we've said this yesterday about Desai. he's going to need to do this for this team right now. 145 for 5 with 12 balls left. Not too shabby. They can still get to that 160. You can see what difference a couple of sixes make.
Yeah, there's no question about it. When you think about what the Galaxy would feel comfortable defending, I don't think that them defending 160 is out of the question. You just have to get 15 runs from the final two overs. And Desai has the capability of doing this. He's been the one man in the middle throughout the Galaxy and their career in minor league cricket that feel as if they can hit the big ball very quickly. Syed has joined them in that front. Orrington Hamilton, you feel, can do that. But can Preston Clark join in on the act? Can they score off of Heath Richards? I don't know how many you'll clear off of Funny Samadri. 2 sixes and an over off Samadri is brilliant. That's not something that's easily replicable.
You'll trade that for a wicket at this point in the innings. Absolutely will.
That's the luxury of wickets in hand. Very straight. And they'll try for 2 and a better throw. Maybe could have tempted a run out.
That's good, though. You'll take 2 every ball right now if you're Orlando. 2 every ball puts you in the high 160s.
Yeah, and Preston Clark, again, someone who carries a bit of experience in his own right. Represented Barbados at the under 17 and under 19 level. And with the bat, he usually comes in at number 4. So he's no slouch and can get it off the square.
4 more balls in the innings for Heath Richards, who will see us full quota. You have to be happy with that if you're an Atlanta Lightning fan, seeing Heath Richards get his full quota in the very first game of the season.
Yeah, historically I haven't seen it too often for Heath Richards through his now 3rd year in minor league cricket. That one just misses the legs. And again, what you want for the Lightning is you want to just continue to evaluate your pace bowling options. You know Funny Samadri is your one option that you can always turn to. Neve McNally's on this team. He's not in the 11. He's another seamer you can turn to. But you talk about Heath and Akil as really 2 options that you want firing. They're the opportunities for under 21s and under 23s. And Heath's bat is his most valuable asset as well. That's why Heath's in the team, and his bowling is the bonus. If he can give you this with the ball every game, you take it.
That's right.
Because you know he's good for an incredible amount of striking with the bat in hand.
100%. Orlando themselves would be happy to have a player filling that role the way that Heath does, wanting those big runs late with the bat, and then the ability to bowl 4 overs of good of solid economy with a wicket.
150 on the board for the Galaxy. Fielder there at fine leg. Should just be a single, and again, the Lightning won't mind this too much. Just giving up singles with the odd double thrown in.
8 balls left in the innings, 152 for 5. Orlando wants to maximize every ball if they can.
The extra bounce of Heath Richards is causing problems. You can see Preston Clark, he's actually not in a bad position to hit the ball. The problem is the ball's just getting so high on the blade of the bat.
Yeah, he's not able to put much power into it up closer to the splice.
So
that's what a good turf wicket will do. It'll allow all the bowlers to bring out their own unique benefits.
Well done by Aron Chenchu. Could be a run out as well. Oh, direct hit.
Ooh.
Needed a direct hit, but he's at least saved a couple with his gloves. Close of the 19th over, 154 for 5.
in the last couple of days, the last 3 innings that we've been on commentary. After today, we have 6 more games this weekend that we'll be on commentary for. Come on. So it's a good thing we like each other.
3 tomorrow, and we'll ask each other if we still like each other after tomorrow. I think that'll be the big test for the weekend. Can we handle that? But you know what? If there's any place to spend your entire day, why not at Church Street Park? Very straight, but hasn't really connected. They want to, and rightfully turn back. There was no chance for Clark to come back for 2. The beauty about pairing, to me, Samhadri and Richards in the death is they're so different, and you have to play them in 2 completely different ways.
Absolutely. Very similar, like how we were talking about Muhammad Mohsin and Lada bowling together in the middle overs yesterday for Baltimore. They're very different. They're both wrist spinners, but they're very different styles. You have the left arm, side arm, low delivery of Fani Samhadri with that dip in it. Oh, good stop.
Yeah, incredible. Just want to see if this was off the bat. It was. And you saw Samhadri react initially. And there was a bit of bat involved. So Chinshu would have had to been superhuman really to get his hands back up to there, but maybe a half chance that he'll hold himself to.
Here we go. 4 balls left against Fani Samhadri.
Excellent. Exquisite Yorker.
You almost got to think at this point in the innings with 3 balls left. You almost got to think, hey, look, let's get 3 twos against him, and, you know, not trade a wicket right now. It's a little too risky to go big against a guy like Fani in this situation, but you know, maybe that's plan B. Whew.
What you don't want is dot balls.
You don't want dots.
That's the big thing. I think to your point, you don't want to. You're trading wickets is one thing, but the reason you don't want to trade a wicket is because it is a dot, right?
Yeah.
And you can see Hartley the side telling to Preston Karg, look, man, we have 2 balls left in this inning. Let's just get bat on ball. Let's run for everything. There's wickets in hand. We're going to take a single off every ball that we hit, and then we can reassess for a double.
This is definitely a Fani Samhadri field that we're looking at right here. This is something.
Unable to get it off the square. Consecutive dot balls. You can see the frustration for both Desai and Preston Clark, both taking walks in opposite directions. And you mentioned that field. Why is it a Fani Samhadri field? There's a straight third, or conventional third, and almost a wide third inside the ring. And speak of the wide third fielder, he's made an incredible effort to get over there. That's Mark Parchment. You speak his name, he gets in the game, and Fani Samhadri is now the leader of wickets in all of minor league cricket.
You got the third man corded. Over there, and Parchment was ready to chase that down. What a great job.
And that is the end for the Orlando Galaxy. They failed to score 80 runs in their last 10 overs, but they give themselves something to defend. 157 for 6 is what they'll finish with. And take a look with the bat. It was a brilliant start. Didn't lose a wicket in the first 10 overs. Dajnaran Chandrapal, 47 off 39. Van Tull goes with the turn of the 10th over for 36. To me, it was the run out of Dajnaran Chandrapal that really changed the dynamic of the game and forced the Galaxy into the corner. But the brilliance with the ball from the Lightning after the first over from Posa.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Mark Dale, a lot early on. We saw Soeb Tai bowling out his quota early, and then Mononk did what he does, and he cycled through the bowlers quite a bit, and Fani anchored the end with Heath Richards bowling the last 5. Terrific stuff from Atlanta after that first 10 overs to basically take over the game. I think if you're Orlando, you would have wanted to have 170 plus after that first 10.
Yeah, it took 6 wickets in the final 10 overs. When we return, the Atlanta Lightning will need 158 from their 20 overs. Plenty of action kicking along all throughout MLC Network. Tune in and then join us back here at Church Street Park. Welcome back to Church Street Park. And we're in for an exciting chase here where the Orlando Galaxy, they'll be set to defend 152. And it'll be a brand new opening pair for the Atlanta Lightning. Manik Patel, he's at the non-strikers end, and he's joined by Nicholas Manohar, a lefty. So it means we'll see an off-spinner early for the Orlando Galaxy in Shoaib Syed. Manohar, of course, part of the Canadian cricket team. He's part of the movement from minor league cricket to bring some Canadian folks down. Only 24 years of age. Bowls a little bit of leg spin as well if they need him to, but hasn't represented Canada at the highest level. Has been a part of some under-19 setups for them, but now is an opportunity to gain some more experience here at Church Street Park.
You'd love to see the Canadians involved in minor league cricket. I think it's a great move. It's good anytime you can build relationships with your neighbors in cricket, especially when you only have so many that play the game. I think it's an excellent move.
And just a touch of a delay here, maybe just waiting for the score system to be ready and back up to go.
Also a little bit special having any Canadian here at Church Street Park, considering the history. The 2018 World Cup qualifier, the America's World Cup qualifier here at Church Street Park, saw a couple of phenomenal games between Canada and USA. We were inspired so much by those games that we are here today.
It really felt like that's where it all started for Morrisville and Church Street Park in the highest level. Whilst there was Church Street Park here beforehand, and there had been some cricket at the local level we played here, a couple of local league finals played at this venue. In 2018, when the ground gained ICC sanctioning to be an official T20I venue, and then to see the USA team up close and in person inspired every young individual and everyone in the community to really wrap its arms around cricket and American cricket. And I remember, being 15 years old, seeing Stephen Taylor hit the 6 over to our left into the hill here to beat Canada on that final day, and took a huge lap around the venue, and like you said, inspired both of us to be right here. Let's start things off now for the Atlanta Lightning with the bat. And it's incredible to see the strides that the American game has taken since that point, Nate, and from 2018 where cricket was, and even the division that we were in internationally, to the places we are now. Could you imagine telling 2018 us that the Americans would be in the World Cup in 2024 and then get to a Super 8 to automatically qualify for a World Cup in 2026?
I think that we would all be very thrilled. I think we would be stoked. It's a great way to look at it, a really positive way to look at it. Another way to look at it is it's kind of sad that USA haven't played any more games here at Church Street Park since the 2018. So it's unbelievable almost to imagine, with the support that the team gets in this area.
And part of that American team that is a big reason as to why they succeed, Manik Patel. He's had an unbelievable summer. Leading run scorer in all of Major League Cricket. A champion for the second time in Major League Cricket, and now he's in a new minor league side. The first time he's been down south. He's been with a couple teams up in the east, but now he's here to plant his flag. First runs from Manik Patel.
It is nice to see the USA players able to start the season in minor league cricket. It's not always the case. Oftentimes they're on a tour. But right now they're here, and so we get to see players like Manik Patel up close and in person at Church Street Park. My goodness, did MI New York make a great decision to retain him over the years.
This could be tight. Oh, Syed's such a good fielder. Surprised to A, misfield it, but then B, he was very close to that direct hit. First over comes to a close, 3 for none. Yeah, just at the end of that last over, we saw Shoaib Syed, who just walks across the screen now, just stay on the ground a little bit longer. It was an ultra-athletic play that he went about going after, but maybe just did himself a touch of damage.
Looked like he might have jammed his hand into the ground there, trying to retrieve the ball quickly.
Taha Faruqi, the left arm seamer, opening the bowling for the Orlando Galaxy, was quite brilliant yesterday in that affair. Thought once he found his rhythm, it was just tough. He just asked that extra question of extra bit of bounce, and I'm curious to see how Manik Patel deals with him, because historically that's where Manik Patel does struggle. But I'll start off to left-handed Manohar.
Yes, I'm excited to see Faruqi here. Took that tremendous catch yesterday. I really like his action. It's very interesting and like longish, you know?
It feels, and this isn't a perfect example, but almost Jafra Archer-esque, the way the hand really gets high in the delivery stride. Now, he's not nearly as straight on, and there's a couple more moving pieces, but you just watch that left hand, the bowling hand, basically straighten right before release.
And it's kind of, both hands get long, both arms get long. It gets long with the leading arm too.
And it's such a variable for control, that leading arm. Oftentimes you'll hear seam bowlers say that lead arm is the difference between bowling a wide and bowling it on your spot. I remember talking to Rushi Lagarkar about differences that he's made in his action, tweaks he's made. He says, the big thing I've started to do that I didn't do early in my career was my left hand, my lead hand. He says, I wanted to start on my right ear. If it starts there, I feel very comfortable that my hand will come through in a clean, straight motion. But the moment my hand starts to come from my shoulder or from my left ear, that's when things go wrong.
Well, whatever he's doing, Rushil Lagarkar, it's the right thing. So take notes, everybody.
And again, it's so interesting, those little biomechanical hacks, isn't it, that just provide that answer and those solutions to certain issues. We've seen bowlers in minor league really struggle with extras, and you think, what's the reason? If they could just fix this one issue, and there's just little tweaks that can be made, and that tends to be the difference between the best. Well, hello. Oh dear. That will be a no ball, and Taha Faruqi.
Well,
he'll want that one back. Rub the ground there. Get the moisture out of your hands.
Taha.
He's not alone in bowling that style. Remember, Matt Short did something similar in Major League Cricket. Basically flew out of his hand.
Flew out of his hand. All right, Taha. Go up to your ear with your lead hand now. Just like Lagarkar.
I don't know if that's the hack that he's after. I think he's just got to keep his hands dry. But it is a no ball. It's come off of the pitch, and the pitch is the area marked by the white lines for those new viewers. Takes advantage, does Manohar. That one is pummeled.
Four runs there. Free your hands and swing.
Oh, brilliantly guided, just a deft touch away. Manohar, he showed the power, and now showing some finesse.
That was an excellently played ball there. Played.
Yeah, not as much aid off the surface here for Faruqi. Again, given just the different conditions, not as cool daytime, not as many clouds about, so not going to extract as much swing as last night. But still movement, so his line will be crucial. But a big over, nonetheless. 2 boundaries for lead to 11 runs, 14 for none. Harding to the side. First bowling change, not opting to go with another over up off spin. He's got a slip, a long off, and a deep cover for Manak Patel. Thrashed, but excellently stopped. We saw so many incredible stops there at backward point.
That was a great stop there from Romario King. What a job. It came off the bat in a hurry, too.
Just short of that slip fielder. Nearly outfoxed and got his man hard to the side.
Oh. Almost went all the way.
Hard to the side. He is someone who, again, for me, is one of the more valuable options in this Orlando Galaxy side from an all-rounding perspective. He swings the ball early. I like him with the new ball. And, again, right there, it was just nearly exactly what you needed.
We mentioned yesterday a lot of the players that they did not keep. Sumit Sarawat would be, I think, somebody that you would love to have as a bowling option right now with defending this score. However, I have been impressed with what I've seen so far from Orlando with the ball that we saw last night.
That one misfielded. Allows for an easier single. Yeah, and with slip fielders, they often set themselves up with the keeper. Right, you're supposed to adjust yourself, maybe that step and left of the keeper, and you're just wondering, is that fielder too deep for the pace of Hard at the side? Could almost encourage him to take a step forward. It's not like Manak Patel played that with soft hands.
Right.
Oh, it beats them this time through the inside. That is insult to injury for Hard at the side.
Oh, what tough luck there. What tough luck. You get one through a batter like Manak Patel, and it goes all the way to the boundary. Wow. This is an unfair game at times.
Cruel and punishing, but Manak Patel, he'll say, no, I got a boundary. It's 4 runs. That's all the scorecard says. The ball is definitely swinging, and it's being aided by the bit of wind right now out of the hand of the side. He's got to continue to be bold and pitch it up. That's not pitched. That's too easy for Manak Patel. Latches on in his first boundary, his first 6 as a member of the Atlanta Lightning.
Yeah, you said pitched up, not up. If you ask me.
Yeah, very close, almost too close to call. I think you're looking. I think you're looking at the umpires right now, waiting for the ball. The ball finding committee is out, and I think might have actually done the trick already. Be mighty impressed if that ball has already been found. Yeah, they got it. Look at that, Nate.
Good
ball
work.
finding committee. We would, you know what? Up the pay.
Proud.
Carrying
Only
on the
the
legacy
best.
well.
Only the best at Church Street Park. Including the ball finders.
That is convincing, but fielder stationed there for Manak Patel. An eventful over, to say the least. 3 gone, 27 for none. Change of ends for Shoaib Syed. He's operating from the Cedar Fork end of the ground where he did operate yesterday. I love the names for the ends of the grounds, Nate, and they do have that historical value, don't they?
Well, they have a very local value to people who have a lot of history in this area. The Cedar Fork end is named after Cedar Fork Park, which is that direction. But there used to be a cricket ground at Cedar Fork District Park, and that was my favorite one. Aside from Church Street Park, that was my favorite one to play at.
It was brilliant, and there was some soccer fields connected to it. A lot of the local league finals were held at that spot, and a lot of warm memories at Cedar Fork. Monang Patel looking to continue to advance, but then the Shiloh end of the ground also with some local value as well.
Yep, we have a ground over at that end at the Shiloh Church, at the Shiloh Park, really, next to the Shiloh Church, and we have one at the Shiloh Church as well.
And it was really the first ground in the area that they used to play the hard ball, the leather ball there, and that's where everything was for a period of almost 5 years.
That's where I met you.
As straight as you like on the back foot and hit gloriously for Monang Patel.
Monang clearing his leg there. You see, he makes space for himself really well.
This time over the offside. Miscued away, but will still find himself 4 runs for Monang Patel. He got the full toss, and he's giving it the full Monty.
So Monang now, he is away right now. 22 from 12. It looks like he's just warming up, and he wants 3 more bites at Syed.
Bite 1. Straight and 4.
Oof. Just using his feet to get himself in a position to access the areas of the ground that are the safest. Right.
Ridiculous, that's not off the middle of the bat.
No.
That's come off the toe end of the bat, and it tells you about the power and the bat speed of Monang Patel.
It tells you about the intelligence of, he's putting himself in a position to hit the ball where even if he mishits it, perfectly safe and a boundary, both.
Oh, fortune favors the bold. Outside edge, he won't get 4, but he'll come back for a second. One really could have gone anywhere.
And we aren't even seeing, Monang hasn't, the last 2 balls hasn't hit cleanly. He got 6 runs off of them. So this is how dangerous he is.
Well, Monang Patel wants to strike, and this is an opportunity to not just get a free hit, but hit his 4th boundary of the over. Cardinal sins, you can't commit those.
And this is the second time this game we've seen a spinner with a no ball.
Again, we'll favor the bold. 2 more runs for the Atlanta Lightning, this time off the pads of Monang Patel. Maybe just needing to relax a bit, because 3 boundaries in a row, it's a little ridiculous. Monang, 4 overs gone, 44 for none. Where do you go? Who do you turn to? I'm not sure if I'm the Orlando Galaxy. What you need is the wicket of Monik Patel, who's already moved to 30 off just 16 deliveries. And you look at Orrington Hamilton, he's got the ball in hand. We saw the Lightning use 6 different bowlers in 7 overs, and it almost feels like we're going to see a similar mold here from the Galaxy. Again, not out of tactical decisions, but out of desperation.
We saw some urgency there. We see it now, I think, here. Or we ought to.
Everyone needs a friend like Manohar. He says, Monok, you're batting well. Let me just get my single. I'll watch from the other end.
Yeah, you got to appreciate that. Atlanta's in no hurry to bury themselves in dot balls when they're doing so well right now.
If I'm Orlando Galaxy, I'm taking out that long on-fielder. I'm bringing him inside the ring, and I'm giving Hamilton some protection at fine leg. Given the movement of Hamilton, given where he struggles when he's missing, this could be out. This should be out. Dropped. Tried to be all nonchalant about it, hardly the side, and he's put down.
Hips going the right way. Just spilled it. Got Manan Patel dropped there. He's going at almost 2 runs a ball. 30 from 16. Hamilton would have loved to have a wicket right now. And we get a wide here from Hamilton.
So my point about Hamilton is when he misses, is he's going to miss through his leg side. He's going to miss to the offside of the left-hander, and he's going to miss down the leg side of the right-hander. So I'm okay with Monik Patel hitting me over the offside because there's a great opportunity with Hamilton's bounce and with his length that he is going to miscue it and give you a chance. And you got to take that, no question. But you want to just give him that protection, square the wicket now for Manohar.
And we saw a little wildness from Hamilton yesterday in his first over. He recovered, performed quite well after that when he was brought back into the attack. Obviously, he took the stunning, well, he assisted on a stunning catch.
And I know that in the modern T20 game, there's a lot said for variations, and you need variations. I will never disagree with that statement. But I just feel the Galaxy go to them so early in their innings. There's no need for a slower one. Nicholas Manohar is not looking to hit you anywhere but into a gap for one.
Yeah, that's right. And it's also showing your hand kind of early. Maybe save your variation for when it can be a surprise. Let the guys not get used to it. Don't tip everybody off.
Oh, this isn't good. Hamilton's walked straight off. He's handed the ball to the umpire, and he's walked straight off holding the top half of his left leg. And he's now walking with a considerable limp.
Oof, this is really tough for Orlando.
It's a non-contact injury as well, and where his hand is, it looks like to be something of a hamstring or an upper leg injury.
He's not walking with the greatest smoothness. This is very, very, very bad for Orlando this early in the innings, losing one of your pacers.
Oh, that's heartbreaking, given the weekend of cricket that's on display, given the fact that you're early in the season, but also given the fact that Hamilton has shown great promise.
That's right.
And has a future ahead of him.
And there's a game tomorrow, too, for Orlando. They've got 3 in 3 days, which is a tall task for a fast bowler anyways.
Here's to hoping that Orrington Hamilton is going to be okay.
Hopefully he's back in this innings.
Not just for minor league and for the Orlando Galaxy, but just for his own sake. You never want to see something like that occur. So it means 2 balls will have to be bowled to finish the over. And they'll hand it to Preston Clark, the off spinner. And Monik Patel has already shown his disdain for off spinners. Just ask Shoaib Syed. So it could be a move that Monik Patel takes a liking to.
Here in the 5th over with 2 balls left.
Yep. Knew that he was going to go after Preston Clark and does so brilliantly. And the 50 on the board for the...
Right now, the form he's been in recent months.
And now the ploy that Preston Clark is in is the mindset of, well, that was too short. I've got to go and pitch it up. That might play right to Monik Patel's hands. Short again, straight again. And Syed does well enough to keep it to 1. So just the 1 boundary for Monik Patel, but the 50 comes up. 5 overs gone, 52 for none. 53 for none, correction. I think this is a move here from Tajran Chandrapal to bring back Taha Farooqi. Why do I like the move of Farooqi versus Monik Patel? Monik Patel historically against seamers has a forward press and can get caught on the front foot. And with Farooqi's extra bit of bounce that we saw yesterday, maybe could just unsettle the American captain. That won't unsettle anybody. It won't get quite to the boundary rope, but Monik Patel, he wants it there.
Catching just enough of that to keep it from being dangerous for him. I mean, he really does fully take advantage of the power play. He knows where the safety is. He doesn't expose himself while chasing boundaries.
Excellently guided.
Good stop it.
Well done in the field as well. Again, it's something we spoke of yesterday. The Galaxy's abilities in the field, their commitment in the field, much improved from seasons past.
Much improved, particularly at the boundaries. I've always thought they had great effort in the inner circle. Their skill has improved there too. Yesterday was strange. They didn't take the easy ones and they took the hard ones. And, you know, sometimes that happens. But the effort was always there.
They've already dropped 1 today. Maybe not the hardest catch in the world, but still with some challenges. And again, similar areas for Manohar. Will have to run hard and maybe wisely sent back from Monik Patel.
You said Manong clearly wanted strike there, had no intention of even humoring 2. And you were saying you thought that Farooqi would be a good matchup for Manong. Well, Manong seems to be favoring the matchup himself.
And I think he just got to find a length. He's been too full to Monik Patel. I know it's come off the inside half of the bat, and it hasn't led off a run, but to me, that's gifting Monik Patel. That's a gift.
It doesn't trouble him at all when you bowl to him as full as they are. I don't think Farooqi's getting enough movement to take full advantage of a fuller delivery against a batter of this class. So I'm with you. I think he needs to be closer to the good length.
Holy smokes. Has he smoked that or what? A couple of fans will have to fetch that because Monik Patel has moved into the 40s and has delivered the highest power play score we've seen.
Hitting the steel seats. Mononk, for as good as he is, doesn't have an awful lot of minor league experience due to his time away with the national team most of the time. See, this being only his 19th innings in his minor league career.
Remarkable. That is remarkable that we saw the best power play here in Church Street Park in the first innings at 59 for none. Atlanta says we can do one better. 64 for none after 6. Yesterday, it was this move to bring in the captain himself that might have just changed the game, or at least given the Galaxy a fighting chance. Darshan Chandrapal yesterday, 4 overs, 3 for 18, and he's trying and testing his hand again, this time against the American captain.
Yes, we know what to expect here. I think everybody knows what to expect here. Quicker deliveries across the batter's body. And well, they've sent the slip back. They did have a slip there for a second.
And I think it's the right move. If you're going to go quick against Monik Patel, away from him, as he's playing with hard hands, don't need a slip. You need a short third, and that's what they've got in place now.
We'll see Mononk right now. This is his highest score in minor league cricket in his 19th innings.
And making him wait. I like the gamesmanship from Chandrapal. Just messing with the timing. Yeah, happy to hand the strike over. Chandrapal got brilliant drift yesterday. Think about the wickets he took. It was due to the drift when he dismissed Mohammad Mohsin in particular is what the ball I'm thinking of, but also Gunwarjeet Singh.
The ball just before that.
Exactly.
The LBW.
And both of them, which didn't spin that much, but had that inward bit of movement in the air. And they got another left-hander to work with. That won't dismiss anyone. Brilliantly worked around the corner. 4 runs.
Yeah, I think yesterday we saw the ball, him diminutive Manohar with no problem putting that behind square to the boundary for 4. No problem at all.
How about this? It looks like Monik Patel maybe found the wrong cricket ball because he's got one in his hands, but doesn't have the logos he's after, so he's still searching. It's a one-man band out there. And he's got 2.
There you go.
Well done, Manav.
Way to go. Put the other one in the bag for the nets.
Can never have too many net balls, can you? Especially when Nate Hayes is batting and thrashing them everywhere. We lose quite many of them.
There you go.
Or is that when you're bowling?
That's when I'm bowling.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Sorry, I got
bowling.
confused.
You need more net balls when I've got the ball because you're gonna wear the covers out.
Wrong line again. This time just a single. The Lightning are cruising. There's no challenge with anything at the moment. They're going at over 10 and over when they need to be going at under 7.
Yeah, this is cruise control. Right now they're about to get, they're in the first 8 overs, they're on pace to get more than Orlando had in the first 10.
Well watched from Chandrapal. Just pushed it away from Monik Patel. And there's more depth with the Lightning as well.
Ooh,
Big cry, big cry. And he's walked off. Monik Patel given out late. And Chanderpaul, somehow he's got the magical arm. After all the explosive fireworks, it's Monik Patel that's light has dimmed.
Wow, out for 40. By Monik Patel, who I must say has shown some maturity in many different ways over the last year.
Close of Monik Patel's innings, 45 is 70 for 1. Aaron Chenchu walks into the middle. Very talented young batter who at times opened the batting with Mark Parchment last season, would open with Unmuk Chand, would come at the one down position, and he's back at the one down position for his side here. Very highly regarded in the Atlanta area, has always been from the youth levels and the under 19, the under 17 levels, and again he's looking to continue to add to his repertoire of runs in minor league cricket.
We saw that 45 from Monik, and you got to say he did his job today.
Immediately off the mark is Chenchu, but Chanderpaul, he's got the breakthrough they needed. Could have just turned the tide for the Galaxy. Close of 7, 71 for 1. Manav Patel will find his way with the ball in hand, the left arm spinner. Coming against Chenchu, who has a high score of 43, but that average hasn't been what he wants. He's been under 20. I think it's tough wickets to have to do a lot with it, but has maintained a strike rate above 100. And for a young man, never something to shy away from.
It was a well-struck single there. Line drive, as we say in baseball. Line drive single.
And Chenchu, for a lot of reasons, is linked to Rishi Pandey. Of course, both of whom, would have come from the Atlanta area. Both of whom captained and vice-captained a lot of the under 17, under 19 sides that they were a part of regionally. But you think about the stature of batter
and the style. They're very similar. As you said, Rishi Pandey, a lot of great success here at Church Street Park also.
Intelligent batting from Nicholas Manohar. No fine leg fielder, so it was always going to be safe. And Chenchu quick, and quick enough. That is exceptional running.
What a great job by Chenchu. That was a speedy 3. That was a speedy. You mentioned Rishi Pandey. Wouldn't have got a triple off of that ball. Not for his own fault, because he batted an awful lot with Rakeem Cornwall.
I spent a year opening with Rakeem. It was a lot of singles and let Rakeem Cornwall bludgeon the ball away. And that was great fun to see at Church Street Park. We've seen so many great cricketers actually come through minor league internationally. You think about not only him, but Rovman Powell, who's captained the West Indies after playing here at Church Street Park. That was in 2021. And you think about Fidel Edwards, who's played in the league as well. Plenty of really great superstars.
And some up-and-coming guys who ended up playing with West Indies. Matthew Ford, who to me is an up-and-coming superstar. I really think highly of Matthew Ford's ability and his attitude, and I think he's got some huge moments ahead of him in his career.
Oh, hello. Nicholas Manohar says, it's okay, Monunk, you might be out, but I'll keep the intent going. 4 more.
Beautiful, beautiful shot. Look at that. Peter Della Penna would be happy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the sweeps and reverse sweeps. You mentioned Matthew Ford, and talk about him as a rising superstar. Well, I think he kind of broke through against Ireland earlier this year when he tied A.B. de Villiers' record-breaking mark of 50 off just 16 deliveries in an ODI. And again, I think at that point everyone said, okay, this Matthew Ford might really be the real deal. And we can say we've known it all along.
Well, he loved the big moment here at Church Street Park under the lights with big groups of fans here to cheer him on. He loved the moment, the big moment. He always lived up to it.
Still moving at over 10 and over, even without the captain of the Atlanta Fire. 81 for 1 after 8. Chandrapal continues into his second. He is going to have a moment of brilliance like we saw less than 24 hours ago where he took 2 in quick succession. It feels like he's going to need 2 or 3 very soon.
You see the pressure that this running pair is putting on the field. Orlando feels like they've got to charge every ball. They have to make a quick throw. That was really well done, actually, running in and getting rid of the ball quickly. You have to throw it quick. Just get rid of it.
Always animated is Christopher Van Til, appealing for everything and keeps every mode of dismissal alive.
Van Til, we're going to see. I'm really hoping for a highlight from him with the gloves today. I want to see another between the legs
little crossover
chance. Yeah, I want to see the crossover. Yeah.
Yeah, the one
dipped pretty well.
Yeah, the one thing Chenshu will continuously do is find singles at his end, so that just frees up Manohar to be more expansive. And we saw him start to go through the gears in the previous over. Both of these two very young cricketers in their own right. Manohar only 24. But both with loads of confidence, and it's shining through already.
I don't think we'll see a reverse sweep attempt against Chandrapal. His ability to zip it in the way that he does. But who knows? Let's see.
It's a risky shot that time from Manohar. He likes that option, but fine leg was in place, so actually benefited from not getting it off the middle of the bat.
Pretty creative. Manohar said he's got some tricks up his sleeve. He wants to display them, express them to us.
And I think if you're the Lightning, you can look at this over and this spell from Chandrapal as your overs to only go with 6. They're going to push for 2. And just a slip will prevent it. Chenshu on his turn was just unable to grab his footing. Close of over number 9. 86 for 1. Correction, 85 for 1 at the close of the 9th. That'll be an extra. And insult to injury, they'll be able to run at least one off of it. They're just in cruise control, the Lightning. There feels as if there's zero pressure on either batter.
Well, that's because there isn't right now. I think they need to create that pressure.
So Nate, I'll pose that question to you. How do you manufacture that pressure? What's the option? What is the plan to start to provide some of that to your side?
Well, I think you have to get aggressive with your fields a little bit. Take some chances like that right there. You see it's pretty easy to run one or two right now on that side.
So are you willing to sacrifice maybe a leg side field or slide him inside the ring, maybe at a mid wicket, and say, if you hit me over, fine, fair enough, but you're not going to get two from that?
Yeah, I mean, why not, you know?
Outside edge, but flies over the top. Continuously spins down the hill, but won't get all the way to the boundary. And there, I think that's a great example of what you were saying, right? Having the fielder inside the ring there behind point, it might fly over, but there's that opportunity of saying, look, you can clear me over here, but if you don't, it's going to be a catch. So I think that's what you're willing to give up to be aggressive.
True, and then there's the question of the bowler has to execute the plan too, and this is just two all day right there. So this could be a question of the bowler just missing his marks right now.
And I was up there to say maybe he's not even missing his mark because he's got the protection deep in the leg side here. So he's putting everything on his leg, saying, hey, hit me here, hit me here.
And the batter's just taking the easy option.
These two batters know because there's no pressure, I can just turn my wrist over the ball.
Yeah, they don't have to take any challenges.
And that one's just a single, but without taking any risks, maybe one risk in the over, you're talking about this over R being worth not 10 runs, or just maybe make it 9 runs.
Yeah. And you still got 2 balls to go.
So I think at some point, right here for Chenchu, they have that mid-wicket fielder inside the ring. There's a cover fielder inside the ring. And there, that shot is forced because Chenchu is forced to find a new area to score. He knows he can't just go straight through cover, so he's tried to roll his wrist over, maybe find a new area. So you create the dot ball. It'll just be short of that fielder. And he's done well enough to keep it from going over the rope. And just a single comes off of it. So close of the first 10 overs. It's 95 for 1, and complete control are the Atlanta Lightning. We'll take a short break here in the comms box with the break from the players. But join us here on MLC Network. We'll continue to give you coverage. It was in the 11th over we saw the wicket of Christopher Van Tull. So, could Thudgeranch Underpaw just produce something of a similar sort and start the trend of wickets? Remember, Lightning took 6 wickets post the 10 over mark. And right here for me, if I'm Thudgeranch Underpaw, I would bring in that deep cover fielder. Chenchu hasn't shown me the ability to clear it today. He hasn't shown the intent to clear yet. I would say, look, hit me over the top. I just got to create this false sense of you have to hit me over the top to score.
Yeah, and then give him the ball to do it. Maybe a little more flighted. Let him try. Dare him.
Nearly 2 opportunities for a wicket there. A run out. I think it feathered edged as well because the umpire has not given byes. It's come off the bat. And it's a tough chance, but for Christopher Van Tull and his athletic nature, you expect him to take it.
Chanderpaul was so upset that he missed the throw coming back to him. He was a little bit late getting over to it. It wasn't the greatest throw, but he was distraught. He knew that this was an opportunity.
Oh, lovely piece of innovation from Nicholas Manohar. Moves well into the 40s and the 100 on the board for the Atlanta Lightning.
Pretty well today.
Just a bit away from that fielder there, and again, it's just the ease of the stroke. Not looking to clear the boundary ropes, Manohar, just looking to find his way into easy doubles.
47 now from 31. We've seen some real good class from these openers from Atlanta. Obviously, Manoj Patel doing what he did.
Touch too short. But will just be the single. Manohar will change strike, headed into over 12. 105 for 1. Shoaib Syed back in for his 3rd over. And we'll now just have to wait agonizingly on 49, will Nicholas Manohar. But he's come in with incredible decisiveness and then understanding as well. Right? He's gone through the gears quite brilliantly.
He's done a great job accessing areas of the field and rotating strike. Especially when his partner's done well earlier on with Manoj.
It's a lot like what Chenchu's doing now. It's understanding your role. Okay, who is the one that's going to be the aggressor? Right? There's got to be this relationship between your batting partners. You have to understand who is going to go after and who is their role is just to make sure we're not chewing up dot balls. And Manohar's gone through that gear. Chenchu's going through the gear. And it's put the Galaxy under tremendous stress and pressure.
Yeah, and I think part of that pressure, obviously comes from Manohar's ability to find scoring.
First game in minor league cricket, and his first 50 in minor league cricket. The 24-year-old from Canada. His bat is high, and it's in Mooresville, North Carolina. Look to the heavens, because he's gone over international borders, but he's still producing the same runs.
What an impressive debut here in minor league cricket for Manohar. He has looked absolutely fantastic.
Pushing hard for 2 and easily done in the end.
You know, we've had a couple people come by the booth to say hi to us, and they've expressed how impressed they have been with Manohar's repertoire here. Oh, what a job!
How has he done that? How has he gone about it? I think Shinchu's saying it's bumped, but the umpire said you have to walk off. That's gone straight to the hands, and Syed's athletic day in the field continues.
Holy smokes, that was crazy.
An easy decision in the end. It's 111 for 2 as Shinchu walks off for 10. So the decision on the field is final. Umpire gets that final say. I'd just love to have a second.
It looked like a catch.
And for me, it was Shinchu started to walk and then stopped walking and then waited for the decision. I think he's made the right decision there, Rahul Patwardhan. But the Galaxy, you'll sit there and say, all right, we got Shinchu out. Problem solved. No, problem's just beginning. Mark Parchment, one of the leading run scorers in all the Southern Division, he walks out to bat.
Yep, congratulations, and this is your prize.
Maybe we won't scamper as many 2s, but we'll still be able to find runs with ease. A wicket in the over for Syed. 12 gone, 112 for 2. The game's not over. Still plenty of time for things to change. Parchment just not ready for that delivery. Dead ball. 46 required off 8 overs. You're not really worried about the required run rate. Can the Galaxy get the wickets? You're not going to outlast the Lightning here, but a quiet over from Chandrapal to finish his spell with a couple of wickets in it could just be the answer. On a string right now, the ball is, Nate.
Yeah, it hasn't left that strip the last 2 deliveries.
And only 1. So this will be the question for Manohar. Can he continue just going about his business? He's someone who is known for batting long. We've mentioned he's represented Canada at the Under-19 World Cup. Actually scored 100 against Japan back in 2020. He was part of that group that automatically qualified, if you remember. Well, hello. Hello, that's ridiculous. You cannot do that. You've just scored 50, and that reverse sweep keeps him going.
such a fun shot to watch.
George Strait said he's here for a good time, not a long time. Manohar is here for a good time and a long time. And it's just through this unbelievably intelligent shot selection.
That was a good one. Come on, that was the George Strait reference there. That was nice. I like that.
Look, some of us just have an infatuation for country music. Some of us were born
going
in the
Alan
South.
Jackson in a minute. We're gonna do, I don't know. Got to find something that rhymes with Chattahoochee.
I think we're good on that one, Nate. But maybe you can go. He did feature on the song with Jimmy Buffett.
It's very unserious going from George Strait to Alan Jackson.
Well,
by the way,
it's 5 o'clock somewhere, Nate, because it's 5:05 here in Mooresville, North Carolina. Close at 13, 118 for 2. There's your Alan Jackson reference. You got any more for us, Nate?
no, I'm happy. I mean, no, nothing. I like the more serious guys. George Strait, very good.
Who else fits on that list for you? Am I putting you on the spot of country music?
No, I like George. I actually like George Jones. Believe it or not.
There you go. I think
saw him play.
He's got the.
He showed up.
Saw him play.
He
wow.
showed up. He actually showed up. Yeah.
Nate, you're living the dream. He's got the best country song that's ever been written and played. Stop Loving Her Today. Nicely worked from Manohar. And look at this. Even with a new partner, is pushing hard for 2. He's 38 balls into his innings, and he has no sign of slowing down.
Yeah. You can't stop him.
Manohar would have been licking his lips knowing that he's waiting all week to debut in minor league cricket. And knew that he was going to play at the end of the week, and might have been listening to a George Jones song. He said, you know what, it's finally Friday, and I get a chance to come out here and bat.
Yeah. You're on a roll. You are on a roll. Well, here they are doing quite well on the road again.
All right, Willie Nelson, I see you. This one over the top, just like we see Mark Parchment, and it goes onto the pavement yet again.
Wrong move, but it went for 6 anyways. I don't think he was reaching that.
Oh, outside edge. Touch unfortunate for Shoaib Syed. He's bowled better than his figures would tell you. But it was really the Manik Patel, that first over. Took him for 3 consecutive 4s. And from that point on, the Lightning just never looked back.
Yeah, it's they're definitely in cruise control right now. Really no threats.
That's up. He wants it, Vantol. Can't get there. Chandrapal saying that was mine. It was easier for me, and I think I would agree. He was stationed at fine. That's the end of Nicholas Manohar. Syed, he took a brilliant one-hander, but his hands have taken a beating today. Shakes it off as the spell comes to an end. 1 for 39 through his 4 overs. It's 130 for 2.
Whew.
back to some seam. Taha Faruqi will get an opportunity. Pushing this game to the very end again for the Galaxy. It's needing wins early in the season. They find themselves so often through their first 4 games without a win, and then you're in the position where you need 4 consecutive and you need them by big margins, and that's just not a recipe for success in this league.
No, it's tough to wheel something at this point.
It's a great opportunity for Parchment as well. Typically when you see him come into bat, it's in more of a slogging role to come in and really just fire boundaries. He's got an opportunity to just sit here and soak up balls and get himself into rhythm here in 25.
I was going to say that when he came into the innings. This is great having Mark Parchment come in 1 down in the 12th, or 2 down and about the 12th over, I think, when he came in the middle. What a luxury.
Yeah, again, we spoke about the lack of depth maybe for Orlando. That depth is definitely here for the Atlanta Lightning, at least through their top 4. And, you still have a Heath Richards to come, who's very phenomenal with the bat in Major League and in minor league cricket. And then you even think about Emil Alponzo, who's gotten better and better with the bat in hand. Soeb Tai, who opened the batting for them last season, he hasn't been out there.
Right.
So they have so many options to go to with the bat in hand. This is a special team, and then don't forget about Mark Dayal as well.
Yeah. What's impressive to me is how there's such a deep squad. Neve McNally's not even in the team.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Manohar's dealt with the variations quite beautifully. That slower one dipped on him very late and didn't seem bothered at all.
No, he doesn't seem like he's feeling threatened. He seems like he's seeing the ball real well.
He's been out there for 41 deliveries. He's got the highest score of the weekend so far.
He's just so good at actively trying to find places to put the ball. He does not accumulate dots. He hasn't had I don't know if you've had back-to-back dots the entire innings.
Bisects the fielders brilliantly. Manohar, he's not worried about milestones. He's just going to bat and bat.
Out in front and pummeling it to the boundary.
And you can just see that there's that energy that's dissipated for the Orlando Galaxy. Yesterday, even though they knew they were going to lose, you saw fight and you saw this fire.
That's right.
The Lightning have really just thrown it away. They've put water all over it. They've extinguished that fire.
They have. They've put a reef upon their door.
There you go, George Jones. Again, he's quoting the best country song ever made. And if you disagree, we'd love to hear your favorite country song, or maybe your reaction to this song, He Stopped Loving Her Today, by George Jones. You can get in contact with both me and Nate on Twitter and on Instagram at @avsportsnews_ and at CrickFanUSA.
Join the Discord. We'll sing along together.
I don't know about sing along. I think the only time you'll hear me on the mic is here doing some cricket stuff. Nate will sing.
No.
He was singing in the breaks here, fellows. I'll tell you that. You were singing.
Oh.
You sung
I'm just
me the
happy.
line.
I'm so happy to be here.
Maybe if we get him some more of the gluten-free ice cream, maybe Nate will start his own ensemble. Fielder. Taken. That will be the end of Nicholas Manohar. It's been a brilliant innings. 65 off of 44, and it finally comes to an end. But nothing.
Great.
Yeah, his
Great
friend.
stuff.
He had a friend in low places there to catch that one.
He did have a friend.
End of Nicholas Manohar, 65 off 44. Well played, young man. Mark Dial. Again, we talked about the depth and the experience of this Lightning team. It's why they're one of the favorites to get out of this Southern Division. Not a lot of work to do. Just 19 needed from the last 5 overs and a ball. Just short of fine leg. End of 15, 139 for 3. Preston Clark, he bowled just the 2 deliveries in replacement of Orrington Hamilton. Now he's got his first official over. Just going to ease their way over the line here, the Atlanta Lightning. Nate, very impressive, and again, the depth. Mark Dial coming into bat. What element does he bring to this Atlanta Lightning batting attack?
Well, just the experience that he has. Obviously, the versatility. He spent some time in the Atlantic Conference in 2021.
Just short. That deep fielder. Again, you can just see the Orlando Galaxy. They know the inevitable is upon them. They're going to drop their first 2 games of the season. 3 games on the weekend, and they only have a chance to win 1 now. And they're going to have to do a lot of soul searching. To lose back-to-back, I think, is almost the worst bit, because you played exceptionally well the first game. There was a lot of promise, and this one feels almost like the Galaxy of old.
Yeah, I still think they're doing pretty well against a good team.
Over the top. Just enough on it from Mark Parchment. Strikes such a clean ball.
Yeah, Parchment, we know what he's capable of. He's scored a whole boatload of runs in this league. Dial, as I mentioned before, played in the Pacific for a bit, scored 373 runs back in 2022.
Yeah, and I think for the Galaxy, and you look at that team, you sit there and say with the bat, you actually had a pretty good outing today. 83 runs without any loss. I think the Thajran Chanderpaul runouts, the moment that you look back on and say that's probably costed us 10 to 20 runs off our total. But you get to 160, and you'd feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, we discussed whether Chanderpaul should step it up a little bit, and it's 4 runs right there.
And that's why you need those.
The pressure's already built in.
Yeah.
We haven't had a lot of pressure, not with the start that Atlanta's had, but the pressure's built in if you get that higher total. Let's call that scoreboard pressure.
Bowl 1 more over here at Church Street Park. Just 5 runs to get for the Atlanta Lightning. This feels like it will be the conclusion of today's game here at Church Street Park. Just the 5 runs to get. It will be Manav Patel to bowl it. A lot of work to do on the drawing board for the Orlando Galaxy. For the Atlanta Lightning, they'll like the momentum they're able to carry through.
Yes, plenty of momentum. Starting off the season with a win that's this decisive for Atlanta will be a really big thing. Obviously, Baltimore won yesterday, but I think they won in a way where they're going to want to look at themselves a little more closely. Atlanta can kind of use this to catapult themselves into the weekend.
Seen plenty of reverse sweeps. This time it's only found the fielder. I think if you're the Atlanta Galaxy, you're just looking to stretch this, if you can stretch it into another over.
Yeah, I think you have to do little challenges like this. You got to keep your spirits up. No reason to be down.
Again, can just do this. Can just get 5 singles to close the over. And we'll end up champions of the day. I think they did it on both fronts. I thought with the ball, not only Emil Ponzo was brilliant, but you looked at Heath Richards, I thought stepped up in a massive way. And then with the bat, Manav Patel, the American captain, and then Nicholas Manohar, the 2 openers, were brilliant.
Another easy single. Yeah, we got a ice cream truck coming through. I don't know if you can hear that, but another ice cream. This is a different ice cream truck than one before.
They've got their own song playing right now too. They got I Spy playing.
There's probably some Ninja Turtles in there, like maybe a SpongeBob popsicle or something.
I thought you actually meant that that Raphael and Michelangelo were coming out of that truck, Nate. I got concerned for a moment.
Talking about the shape of the ice cream, like their head.
And that'll do it. That is all she wrote. Mark Dayal finished it off with a 6. And the Atlanta Lightning, they win their very first game in minor league cricket in 2025.
Chasing. And there we go. Atlanta won by 7 wickets with 3.2 balls, three overs, 0.2 to spare. And you can see everybody shaking hands out there in the middle. For Atlanta, this is a great start to the season. For Orlando, learning moments. Maybe a little bit of a step back from yesterday, but they've played against 2 very good squads to start the season. You see Nicholas Manohar there with 65 from 44. He was the standout. Manav Patel got him off to a racing start, took all pressure off for Manohar with 45 from 26. Parchment and Mark Dayal with cameos at the end to launch them to victory. A little bit of an NRR boost, right?
It was brilliant, yeah, but that net run rate will be helped out as well for the Galaxy. That's 2 losses on the trot, and with the ball, wicket for Shoaib Syed and Taha Faruqi, but too late in the ask. Tajran Chandrapal, yet again the standout bowler, but if he consistently is a standout bowler, he might not be in the best position. Orange and Hamilton, the other name to look at, didn't finish that first over, and he had to pull up, and it looked like he was holding his hamstring. So that's something to watch for the Galaxy as we move through minor league weekend. Well, the Atlanta Lightning, they thumbed their way up to North Carolina, and they found a win in their first game at Church Street Park. Join us throughout the weekend because Saturday's action, a triple header. Nate, anything else to add?
No, I just think, if you're Orlando, you got another game left. You got to get your spirits up. No reason to feel sorry for yourself and pout because sad songs and waltzes aren't selling this year.
Well, you know what is selling? Minor league cricket, and we'll have plenty more of it. A triple header coming to your way tomorrow, but keep tuning in to MLC Network. Plenty of minor league happening today. For Nate Hayes, for myself, for Barbara Begg, and our entire production crew, we thank you very much, and we'll see you very soon.